Well, Jofra Archer, England cricket fans will be very excited to see him included, but how confident are you that he can get back to full fitness and his best in time for the 2020 World Cup?
Yeah, all I can say at the moment, he's tracking for exactly that. And so we're optimistic, as is Jofra, that he can get back, but there's still a little way to go. We're at the final stages now, and we picked him because we expect him to be fully firing. And every time you see Jofra bowl, even before Christmas, when we were out in the Caribbean, it's just that level goes up. He's still quick. He still looks effortless when he does it. We just need to hope and we make sure that he's robust enough to be able to stand up to whatever comes his way, starting with the Pakistan series, then into the World Cup, and then we look forward from there, really. So, the lad needs he's due a lot of luck. Let's hope it comes in this series or this World Cup.
What's the plan for him going forward now to get enough cricket before that first game against Scotland?
Well, so now we always balance him with Jofra because it's taken a toll on him, being out for a long period of time. So what we've always had to do is try and balance him being able to go home and spending time in Barbados, where he lives, and also being at Sussex and doing his work there. And at the moment he's out in the Caribbean. He's been playing club cricket, which is, and I think he's going to stay out there. They've got a semi-final, his club team, which is going to be like the last time before he comes back over here, where he'll get into it, and then all the intensity, and that's the last bit of it now, is when that intensity in cricket just ramps up, and we're hoping that he's just built up enough to be able to go and thrive in international cricket.
He said recently he's not sure if he could take another injury setback. Do you feel like this might be his last opportunity?
Well, that's the things that the medics will tell you about, really. I think whenever there's a chance for Jofra to get back, I think until someone turns around to him, me or anyone and says, look, do you know what, Jofra, there's absolutely no chance, then I think you do whatever you can to try and get him back, because he's such an asset to English cricket. He's, the game when he's running into bowl, he's the one that you sort of all look to watch, so fingers crossed.
No Chris Woakes, what's the thinking there?
Chris Woakes, I suppose Reece Topley's just nipped ahead of him in terms of, you're always looking at the roles that you want people to play. So if someone like Jofra's there, he's a three-phase bowler, so he can bowl in the power play, in the middle and at the death. Someone like Chris Woakes, you're looking at his speciality really is in that power play, really setting the tone. And Reece Topley's done a good job with that. He's the coming man in that regard, so he's just nipped ahead of him. And then people like Chris Jordan, who are in there, Sam Curran, that's more for what they offer with bat and ball. Playing out in the West Indies, and you see in T20 generally, it's not pivoting towards less aggression, it's pivoting towards more aggression. And someone like Chris Jordan, his batting has really come on. We watch him through all the franchise cricket he plays, and that's been a factor there, which just adds so much depth, as well as Jofra as well, who we want to see something with him with the bat. He actually messaged me the other day and says he hasn't got out in the last 3 games of club cricket he's played or something like that. So you want those guys, you want the people before them to know that you've got that power at the back end of an innings. That makes such a difference. That's what Chris Jordan offers.
Where does it leave Woakes in terms of his white ball, but also potentially his red ball career?
I don't see it. It just means that he's only just missed out on this squad, so you never know what might happen with injuries. If there's an injury to the role that we feel that he fits, then he'll be one of the men to come into that. In Test cricket last year, he was arguably the player of the Ashes for us. So he's very much in our thoughts for Test cricket, for what he offers with the bat and ball in Test cricket as well, in that number 8 role. So I don't see him anywhere near done.
Jos Buttler is expecting his 3rd child, I think. Is it during the Pakistan series?
Yeah, well, I think it's around then, isn't it? These things you never quite...
How might that impact the build-up then?
Well, I think the first thing I'll say is that whenever the child is due, or the baby is due, then Jos will be at that. I think always family comes first in those situations, especially in this day and age as well. And then we'll work around that, however that is.
He won't miss the start of the World Cup, though. Have you had that conversation?
Well, look, you never know what's going to happen, but the plan is for him not to miss the start of the World Cup. But if it means that the baby's going to be due during that, then we'll plan accordingly. And he's got he'll be given every opportunity to make sure he's at the birth.
Will he wear the gloves?
Yeah, I'd imagine he will wear the gloves. I haven't heard anything different at the moment.